Recently got the opportunity to spend some time down in Colombia with our friends at Anthem Coffee Imports and Cole Spirit Coffee, who's a Colombian coffee exporter. It was a fantastic trip. Colombia is one of the largest coffee producers in the world, and I really learned a ton of great stuff about coffee while I was down there. Specifically, what we're going to do in this video is talk about a visit to a farm called El Girasol. El Girasol is owned by Robinson Ortiz and his family now for 3 generations. While we were at Girasol, we actually got out in the field, we harvested coffee, and we sorted the coffee, which are the first 2 steps in coffee processing. So we're going to take this video to show you a little bit about what harvesting and sorting is like on a coffee farm. So when we first got to the farm, we sat down with Robinson and his family and had coffee, of course. Then we headed out for a little tour of the farm. Robinson has several varietals of coffee on his farm, but he's also got other crops. There are some beans. You'll see a lot of plantain trees growing in among the coffee, providing shade, and some other vegetable crops as well. And let me tell you, Robinson knows an awful lot about that farm. Every tree, all the varietals, how much they produce. It's amazing how much stuff he knows about his farm. So it's time for us to get to work. Most of the time, the equipment is pretty basic. Robinson is helping us get all hooked up before we head out to the field and start harvesting coffee. Let me tell you what, it is not as easy as it looks. It's important that you go through and you only pick out the ripe coffee cherries and not the green ones. If you pick the green coffee, it's just going to be thrown out in the sorting process later on. One of the things I did find is that picking coffee takes a long time. I mean, we were out there for about half an hour or so, and the end result is that we had about 2 kilos or about 5 pounds of coffee cherry. That's just the cherry. That's not the actual seed that we want. So we did a terrible job. So once we're done picking, we need to go back, and the first step is to separate out what they call the floaters. The floaters are low density coffee cherries that float to the top. It's a real simple process. Put them in a bucket of water, and the ones that we don't want will float to the top, and the denser beans will float to the bottom. One of the reasons that we do this is that the low density ones, the floaters, they might be underripe coffee cherries. They're low density ones. They will roast really differently and cause the end coffee that we roast to not taste quite as good. So Robinson had a couple of ways to do that. He picked the really simple way to do it because we had so little coffee cherry to process. It's just put it in a bucket of water and the floaters float to the top, and we skim them off and go from there. We did go to some other coffee farms where they had a little bit more automated way to do that. We'll show you that in an upcoming video. So now we're going to sort coffee cherries. A couple of us got elected to do that. We're basically picking out all the underripe cherries, picking out the cherries that might have been crushed or broken, and getting them ready for the rest of the processing. All in all, this is can be a pretty complex and time-consuming process, going through all the harvesting and all of the sorting. We haven't even gotten to the milling and the drying and all the other stuff. That'll be in the next video that we've got coming up. But there's a couple of things that you need to know here. Depending on how well the coffee is harvested and how well the people do, you could lose anywhere from 10 to maybe 30% of the coffee that was picked just in the sorting process before anything even happens. And that can be significant. So it's really important that when they're harvesting, they harvest the right coffee cherries. Otherwise, you could potentially have some problems with that. Uh, what I learned in this entire process is that there's an awful lot of work that goes into farming coffee. As with all farming, it's just really labor intensive, and in particular with small family coffee farms, it seems like there's even more than you would ever expect. It was definitely a learning experience, and I'm excited to show you in the next couple of videos the actual processing method that we've got. We're going to take that cherry and we're trying to get to the seed that's inside it. So we've got to mill it, we've got to wash it, we've got to let it dry out on some patios, and we've got a couple of different things coming up for that. So stay tuned. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be uploading another video with all of those details too. I hope you learned a little something about coffee, and as always, keep serving coffee people love.